Welcome back to another Fantasy Goodfellas video where we talk about the top 15 tight end rankings for Week 14. You ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready for those fantasy playoffs.
Those Fantasy Goodfellas.
Boom, boom, boom. Rolling on the field.
Those Fantasy Goodfellas. All right, before we get started on this week's rankings, can you tell me how we did on last week's rankings?
All right, if we take out Waller, who didn't play, we hit on 11 of the remaining 14 tight ends.
Boom, boom, boom.
That is exceptional. We only missed on Kelce, and that horrible Buffalo weather on Monday night ruined it for Knox and Hunter Henry. But if it wasn't for that, man, we could have been perfect. This could have been the week to be perfect.
Too bad we didn't get that perfect lineup. All right, well, gives us something to strive for. For the top 15 tight end rankings for Week 14, Richard, take it over.
And number one, we have Travis Kelce, who will be home against Las Vegas.
Many people expected Kelce to do much better this season than he's done. What can you say about him?
Well, I agree with that. I agree that as a first-round pick, Travis Kelce has been a pseudo bust, but he is still the best tight end in fantasy. And number two, we have George Kittle at Cincinnati.
Wow, what an amazing game he did last week. What can he do this week to match that?
It's going to depend on Deebo Samuel, right? If Deebo Samuel misses another game, I think it's going to be the Kittle show again. And they're playing Cincinnati. They're not world beaters on defense. We know Burrow's going to put up points. This could be somewhat of a shootout. So I think Kittle's going to do well. And number three, Rob Gronkowski will be home against Buffalo.
Gronk's only played 6 games and he's got 6 TDs. It's almost a TD a game. Does he get into the end zone this week?
Probably. Tom Brady leads the league in touchdown passes, right? Leads the league in yardage. The thing is, there's also Mike Evans and there's also Chris Godwin, but I still think Gronk is going to do well. Now, he's not going to get as many targets as Kelce and Kittle, but he's going to get some red zone targets. And number four, Mark Andrews at Cleveland.
I guess this week it's a matchup thing because Andrews is going against Cleveland. You think that bodes well for him?
This is more of a consistency thing. We know Mark Andrews gets targets. We know Lamar Jackson likes to throw to him. The issue is against Cleveland, Baker Mayfield isn't going to put up points. So Lamar Jackson's probably not going to pass that much. They're probably going to rely more on the run. So that's the reason Mark Andrews is a little lower. I would love to put him a little higher, but I still think he'll get his targets and some in the red zone. And number five, we have Darren Waller at Kansas City.
Well, here's another guy that has a consistency issue. What can you expect from Waller this week?
Well, hopefully he's playing, right? That's the one thing. He's coming off that injury. If he plays, he's a top 5 tight end. And if he doesn't, obviously take him out. But I think they need him. I need Derek Carr needs him. The offense is better when he's getting his targets. So I expect a rebound. I expect him to have a solid week if he plays. And number 6, TJ Hockenson at Denver.
Well, the Lions are coming off their first win. Hockenson's playing well by getting in the end zone. What do you expect this week?
As always, Hockenson is going to produce. He's always a top 10 tight end, even though Jared Goff is his quarterback, even though he plays for the Lions. He's making things happen, and we can't ignore him. At number 7, Dalton Schultz at Washington.
Do you think Schultz is kind of cooling off a little bit?
I don't know. It's just again, tight end situation is not really exciting, once you get past the top 5. And we know that Dak Prescott likes to pass. We know Dallas likes to pass. Schultz has been getting his targets in the middle, so that puts him squarely in the top 10. And number 8, Pat Freiermuth at Minnesota.
If you watched our other videos, you got Chase Claypool and Deontay Johnson. Now you got Pat. I guess you're expecting a lot of people to perform well from Pittsburgh this week.
In Pat's case here, it's more about, not having, again, the production that you get from the tight end position. In the tight end position, if you just get a little bit of production, boom, you're in the top 15. So I think that's the reason why he's there. He's been consistent the last few weeks. And number 9, Kyle Pitts at Carolina.
Many people expected Kyle Pitts to have a much better season than he is. What do you expect from him this week?
Yeah, he's not looking great. You can blame things on Matt Ryan, but you have other guys stepping up, like Russell Gage. I mean, what's going on with Pitts? I don't know. At this point, he just may be a bust. And number 10, Dawson Knox at Tampa Bay.
Well, I think the thing about Dawson Knox is he gets into the end zone because he doesn't really have that many targets. What do you like about him for this week?
again, I like the fact that Buffalo likes to use him in various ways, and he's definitely a part of their offense. You know, he's been hurt, and then this Monday night, man, that terrible weather really, really put a damper on both offenses. So I think he's going to rebound. At number 11, Noah Fant, who will be home against Detroit.
Is there just not a lot of tight ends because Noah Fant isn't playing like a top 15?
Noah Fant is. He's a good tight end. He's probably a top 10 tight end when he's healthy. He's been a little hurt. You know, they have their offensive issues in Denver. Teddy Bridgewater is not a world beater, but Noah Fant is solid, and he's got a good matchup this week. At number 12, Tyler Conklin, home against Pittsburgh.
Do you think Conklin can get into the end zone this week?
I don't know about getting in the end zone, but look at his numbers. I mean, Conklin has been solid. He's one of the more underappreciated tight ends. If you look at his last 5-6 weeks, he's producing. So we know Kirk Cousins is looking his way, and now there might be a few more targets thrown his way now that Adam Thielen is not playing. At number 13, we have Zach Ertz, who will be home against the Rams.
This is supposed to be a shootout, so I think you're expecting Zach Ertz to play well, right?
Yeah, I'm expecting Kyler Murray to play a big part and spread the ball around and maybe find them in the red zone. At number 14, Gerald Everett at Houston.
I'm a little surprised on this one. Can you tell me why Everett's in this spot?
Well, Russell Wilson's heating up. They have a good matchup at Houston. And if you watch Gerald Everett play, he plays with a chip on his shoulder. So I appreciate that. At number 15, Tyler Higbee at Arizona.
I think a few people expected Higbee to do much better playing in that high potent offense. What do you like about him?
I mean, he's barely in our top 15. I think it's more about the matchup this week. It's going to be a shootout, which bodes well for both tight ends, both Ertz and Higbee. And that's why they're in my top 15.
All right. Thanks for coming on here and sharing the top 15 tight end rankings for week 14.
My pleasure. Remember to like, subscribe, ask your questions in the comments section, and watch all our videos.
Those Fantasy Goodfellas.
Boom, boom, boom. Rolling on the field.
Those Fantasy Goodfellas.